We in here. It's the reset, baby. It's the party. You know, it's post-game. That's how we do it, man. We have a little fun, man. Give y'all a little time to get up in here. Look, preseason game. It got done today. We got a nice little win for the Seattle Seahawks. Shout out to them. We're going to talk about it all, right? But more importantly, we're going to hear from you. You guys have an opportunity. Get in the comments, ask us questions, talk to us. And we got some other topics that we're going to be talking about as well. So, of course, as you guys know, the Seahawks went down to the Chargers and got a preseason win. Now, before we get started, let me go ahead and just set the table. I don't want to hear nobody talk about it's just preseason, which it is. It is just preseason. But I'll say this for all Seahawks fans out there. I'd rather this taste in your mouth than another taste in your mouth. You know what I'm talking about? Like, look, man, and every time the team puts on pads, everything matters. Sure, the starters didn't play, Geno didn't play, DK didn't play, no doubt about it. Harbaugh down there, he didn't really play that many of the starters. I get it. But what you did see is what we loved, and that's what I want to talk about now. First, let me go overall on what I saw about this team. They play faster. I don't know what it is. Is it me? Can you see it? They play faster. That was the first thing that stood out to me, right? Like, I've been watching them in practice. I've been seeing them, flying around. But for some reason, watching them on TV, it just felt like they were just flying around, getting active, right? Every single time that the Chargers would throw a ball, run the ball, man, they're active. I'll get to the defense in a second. You know what I'm saying? I'll get to that in a second, but I'm going to say that. So the first thing that stands out to me about this team, they just seem faster, right? I just wasn't expecting that, right? Now, when I get a chance, next week I'll go and look over the all 22 and check the film out and kind of dissect it a little bit. But at first glance, I got to tell you, this team really looked fast. Okay, let's go into specific guys. Let's start off with Sam Howell, 16 for 27, 130 yards in a TD. What you guys think? I'll tell you. I think Sam Howell might be like Allen Iverson. Practice? You talking about practice? Look, all camp so far, I think I've seen maybe a day or two where he looked all right, looked decent. Other than that, y'all, I'm keeping it a buck with you. It ain't been good. It ain't been good at all. It's like the game has been fast, like he's been uncomfortable, like just something's just not right. But then he gets to the game, and I'm telling you, during practice, the gap between he and Geno was like this. He gets to the game, man, you ever know that one player maybe you played in high school with, junior football with or something, that just was a gamer? Maybe it was you. Maybe you was a gamer. Maybe you just like, man, I'm not practice. I know when I play basketball, sometimes, you're shooting, but I get in the game, man, sometimes it's a little bit different. Anyway, I thought Sam Howell looked good. He looked confident doing his thing. So that was definitely positive to see because I think we all know. P.J. Walker looked like the game was a little fast for my man. I know he didn't play with the personnel that Sam Howell played with, but the game looked a little fast for my man P.J. Walker. So we'll see. We'll get to talking about that. I want to talk a little bit about the defense before I go back to the offense because I want to get to the running backs. Defensively, back to what we talked about, flying around. Now, I ain't want to gossip, Miss Benita. You ain't heard it from me. But y'all see that defensive line? Y'all see Byron Murphy, man? I know it's preseason. I know. But come on now. Now, there's going to be times that I'm going to say things that maybe the Seahawks or nobody likes what I say because I'm just telling the truth. Well, I'm telling the truth right here. Defensively, on the defensive line, man, they was active. Kind of got you excited. You know what I mean? That pass rush was nice. Mike Morris looked good. Did y'all see Mike Morris in coverage? Ooh, I see you, Mike Morris, looking good. And then in that fourth quarter, big dog, Derek Hall, pass rush, big boy, boom, boom, out of Auburn. Because I got to tell you, like last year with Derek Hall, he might be nice. And then, so one thing I love about the game of football, man, 1 minute you think one thing, next minute it's another. I thought Derek Hall looked good. So defensively, again, they're flying around. Now, here's the question. Is it already the Mike Macdonald effect? I just feel like it's just way too easy. Now, I've talked to some ex-players about what they're talking about when it comes to Mike Macdonald. Man, I ain't they say you're nice, man. I'm trying not to be biased. I'm trying not to be Seahawk biased. But man, the excitement that I can just feel, I just feel that there is no way that the Seahawks are going to allow and be the worst pass rush, the worst run defense in the game. They were 30 and 31 the last 2 years, allowing people just run the ball all down their throats. It's crazy. I just don't feel that that's going to happen. Well, do you know how it feels, how good that feels? I don't want to say it, man, but man, look, it's just the taste so good. Look, I already finished this coffee. I had a cup of coffee to just finish this show. It's already gone because I'm too damn excited about what I saw. All right.
Yeah, one thing I just want to add about McDonald that I like so much was every time there was either the pick or the sack, he was very stoic on the sidelines. It was almost like he was letting us celebrate, and it was just business for him. It was just same old. This is what we expect, and I love Pete Carroll. He's a legend, and he had just such an exuberance. This is the complete opposite. He's like, this is just business. This is what we should be looking like.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because, no doubt, listen, in practice, over at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, no exaggeration, y'all. I don't see Mike Macdonald until the end of practice. When practice is going, I don't see the dude. I'm telling you, there's other people that's been there. You know what I'm talking about. You don't hardly see Mike Macdonald. The dude is just, and then, there's no rah celebration. You know what I'm saying? Like, which I think there's different types of coaches. Maybe you as a fan, maybe are you emotional, not emotional? Some of you guys are just like, man, you're just cool. You just play it cool. Or you like me. Y'all know me. I'm emotional, man. I wear my emotions on my sleeves. So that's been crazy. All right, let's get to some position battles. I want to talk specifically about some of the things that's going on. One of the things that I got to talk about the wide receiver position. Now, help me out. What y'all see? With this wide receiver position, I'm thinking they're going to keep 6. Fair. Let's go through it. DK, lock. Jackson Smith and Jigba, lock. That's 2. Tyler Lockett, lock. 3. Now we're about to get in trouble. Jake Bobo, 4.
4 targets. He was getting some looks.
Lock, no doubt. So that's 4. That's 4. Now this is what we gonna get. We gotta talk about this one. This is what we're gonna talk. Derek Young, yes. Y'all saw him out there. Looks good, but not just that. He's a good dude, consistent, special teams. So Derek Young gets the 5th spot. Now this 6th spot right here, boy, woo. I know maybe you would think that a first rounder or somebody like a D. Eskridge or something like that would probably get that. But I saw D. Eskridge in the game still in the 4th quarter. I think D fighting for his life. I think he's fighting for his life for the team. No question. No question. I got a tie between 2 people for that spot. And I'm going to give the edge, and I'm leaning towards the 1. The first person I'll tell you about, Laviska Shenault Jr. Played at Colorado, been in the league. He came in this season. I remember that dude. He is built very well, great player. He had some injuries in the past. And I'm like, man, if that dude right there, I think he's going to be the X factor. I called Laviska to be the X factor in that wide receiver room. Hadn't been seeing it at practice. I really haven't. Haven't jumped off the screen. And by the way, I've been watching. I've been looking for it because he's the guy that I wanted to be like, I told you so. Haven't seen it. However, I still think he's got it. And he did okay in the game today. Looked good. But I'm going to tell y'all who's a gamer. I'm talking about gamer. He did it last season. He does it now. He looks good in practice. One-on-ones, he looks good. He got hands. You know what I'm talking about. Number 13, Easop Winston Jr. Whoo! He's nice. He's nice. He's nice. Now, I know I bet you some of the comments are talking about Cody White and all that kind of stuff. No, look, right now, I got 6. It's a toss-up between 2. I'm leaning towards Easop, but for some reason, I don't think you, scouts, or anybody loves Easop Winston Jr. like I do. I love him. You saw that catch he made in the game. The dude's a gamer. So pay attention to that. Love to write down, put that in the comments. You see some in the comments right now?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Aesop love in the comments.
Okay.
The one thing I just want to say about Laviska that makes me feel bad for that guy and it makes me root for him.
Okay.
How many wins does he have in his career?
Of course, you're going to give me the stats and let me know.
He has 13 wins in his career. He's been on a 1-win team, a 2-win team, and a 3-win team. I would love to see that guy on a system that has a little bit more support and there's a little bit more structure. That guy's been in some really awful situations, and he was so exciting out of college. And you're right, he's been banged up a little bit, so maybe he's lost his step. But I'm always kind of rooting for him because it's been such a rough start to his career.
Okay, I'm looking at – okay, hold on. Hey, by the way, look, I ain't going to lie to y'all. This whole time I was talking, I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't see the comments. Let me go to the comments, baby. Man, first of all, man, we jamming in here. We got 74. Let's go. Make sure you subscribe. Share it, baby. We starting out. It's the reset. Now it got me hyped. Let's go. Let me see what they talking about. Okay, we got some Aesop. We got some Chenault. Okay. No, it's not too early, Jonathan. No, it's not too early. This ain't too early. Let me tell you something. Listen, y'all. It's football season. It ain't too early for nothing. You feel one way right now, and the next. Just don't get married. Don't be married to these opinions. See, sometimes I think that's the biggest problem in football, right? Like today is Saturday, and you see a player, and you're like, man, that player's good. And because you said that player's good, you said it in front of your mama and them, your daddy and them, and all of them, so you don't want to look bad. It's okay. Things change, right? Sometimes you're in a relationship, right? You're a good husband, you're a good boyfriend, and then you're a good boyfriend in August, and then come December, you ain't the same no more. And so then your woman get mad, right? Your woman is going to judge you based on how you treating her. You got to get better with how you treating her. See, there I go with the analogies again, getting crazy. All right. I want to go off the wide receiver. Let's get off that. Let's go to running back, baby. Come on, running back. Let's talk. Get in the comments. Let's get these running backs. K9, lock. Okay. Charbonnet, lock. Now, this is where I'm at. The Kenny McIntosh is one of those things where I think all of us are trying to like, is that going to happen? Is that going to pop? Right? Like, because Kenny McIntosh is just like this mysterious thing, right? Like, it's like you've never been out on a date with that person, right? They look good, they look fantastic, and you have in your mind what it could be like, but you've never actually gone on the date, and you just want to go on the date and see what happens. Is Kenny McIntosh, can he be the guy? What are we missing? Why didn't we see him last season? And that's why I'm asking myself, maybe there was a legitimate reason. By the way, I tried to find out. I still never found out the answer. You see what I'm saying? I like Kenny McIntosh. I liked him when he was in college. So, anyways, I would say he's a lock. Not lock, but he's there. So that's number 3. Number 4, listen, everybody, this number 4 for running back, I'm going to tell you right now. You saw me message about it. You saw me put on Twitter earlier. I told you, number 36, out of Boise State, undrafted. He would have been drafted if it wasn't for the injury. The Seahawks, very good on their scouting department, George Halani. Yes, you saw him. You saw him get in the end zone. Look, I sat next to him. I know the young buck, right? In June, we're down in Portland together. In Portland, I was talking to him because after the draft and everything, he was down in L.A. He's from L.A. He went to St. John Bosco. I said, man, he's telling me about his workout. And I'm going to tell you guys why I jumped on the George bandwagon. This is why. So we talking. Nice kid. Let me tell y'all what he said. I said, man, how was rookie camp? He's like, oh, man, I loved it up there. It was great. I had a great time. And this, and I'm learning the playbook. I said, okay. He said, man, it's great. He says, man, but you know what I really love? I said, what's that, George? He said, I love the food. Huh? Yeah, man, like the food. I just didn't know the food was going to be that good. It was something about him. He was so grateful, right? And so I believe that how you do anything is how you do everything. So being grateful as a player, just appreciating things, right? So when call me corny, I've been around this game a little while. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but hear me out. When you appreciate things, right? When you appreciate things, you take care of it, right? When he told me that little thing about the food, that made me really key in. So I started asking more questions. I'm like, man, how's the workouts, man? Where you working out at? Check this out. This dude was driving an hour and a half each way to go train in LA after the draft and after rookie camp being with the Seahawks. Hour and a half each way. Now, here's what I know. Some people would be like, I ain't driving an hour and a half. Let me find something that's short. That just tells me he's grateful for things, and he's a person that commits. He commits to things. So now he's been looking good in practice, and you've been seeing there. All right, what they saying about my guy George Halani, man? I'm telling y'all.
Oh, there's love for George Halani, and I think everyone agrees. It's just you can't have enough running back depth. There's like 5 or 6 3-down running backs, and then you need a big rotation. Why not have these guys? I mean, there's some people in the comments saying, back to Kenny McIntosh, could he become the number 2 back almost?
Oh, number 2? What the hell is going on? What you mean? Who said that? Who said number 2? Are y'all being disrespectful to Charbonnet out of Oaks Christian? Are you kidding me? I don't think we've seen the best out of Charbonnet. No. Don't even fix Not today. Well, it could be tomorrow, but I don't know. But not today, okay? I won't go crazy, but not today. No.
All right, here's one thing that people really want to know, and it goes back to your conversation with me, Bane. We got to talk about the trenches.
Oh, the offensive line?
And defensive line, because we had a new rookie out there, and he made a couple splashy plays.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't think the offensive line, I don't think there's enough to judge on that one, right? I think we just going to be talking, right? I don't think there's enough to judge. I think defensive line, I think we saw more from them today than we saw from the offensive line. I mean, they were cool. I mean, there's nothing. Look, if there was something bad, something like going crazy, I would probably start the show off with that. And that's one thing about the offensive line, right? Offensive line is probably the most disrespected position, right? Because when things go right, everybody talks about the quarterback and the receiver, right? When things go wrong, the first thing you do is talk about the offensive line. So the offensive line really is just like a disrespectful situation. So we're going to see with that. I didn't see any concern. How about that? I'll leave it at that. So anyways, I got 4 left out of that. I like Kobe Lewis. Kobe Lewis has been looking good in practice. He was different. Kyrie Robinson, number 35. I don't know about that. Boom. Let's get to the tight end situation.
We got 6 of them.
Noah Fant, okay, that's a lock. Farrah Brown, that's a lock. Guys, I know he scored a touchdown today, Brady Russell, but man, every time, like when I showed up, I had no expectations to watch Brady Russell. I was there to watch, of course, Noah Fant's fine. Farrell Brown got paid money. I really wasn't concerned about them. I was kind of looking at depth. So I went right to A.J. Barner, right? Draft pick out of the University of Michigan. And I thought, I'm watching A.J. Barner. I loved A.J. Barner in college. As a matter of fact, my son used to watch his cut-ups. I think and thought that A.J. Barner was a better tight end than Brock Bowers out of Georgia, no doubt. So I'm just letting you guys know that when I came to practice, I was looking for A.J. Barner to be that guy, okay? Yo, this Brady Russell. Brady Russell make you pay attention to him. Like, seriously. And the Seahawks, boy, I mean, out of Colorado, 6'3", 250, make you pay attention to him. He balls in practice. His energy, the type of person and the feeling that I get when I've just, like I said, I've never met him. I've never talked to him. I hear him talk. I see him congratulate his teammates. Yo, he got that Luke Wilson energy, right? Good guy. Good guy. I think one of those guys that, man, you'll fall in love with the dude. So he's going to make it tough. So anyways, however, A.J. Barner is a high draft pick, so he makes the team, okay? Tyler Mabry is good, no doubt. And I know for all you UW fans out there, you guys love my man Jack Westover. Jack Westover in practice, man, he be making diving catch. That's why today in that game, I couldn't believe he didn't make that diving catch. When he missed that catch, I said, man, that's the first one he missed.
That would be
I
huge.
like Jack Westover. I really do. So, did you just say 6 tight ends?
Yeah, I think we got 6 on the roster right now.
Okay, but I thought you were trying to say they keep 6.
No.
Okay,
No.
no. I don't know about that. So I think they keep. Ooh, Noah Fant, Farrell Brown, A.J. Barner. Right now, man. Here's the thing. If Brady Russell, and this is I don't know, we'll see. Maybe things change. If Brady Russell don't make that 53, and you know how, like, oh, maybe they can hide him on the practice squad. Hell no. If I'm a GM out there, and probably, look, somebody's probably going to tell me to shut up talking about Brady Russell. They probably going to be like, gee, chill. I like the dude. So that's the guy you can't hide on a practice squad. It reminds me of 2009. You guys remember a guy by the name of, Mike Bennett. Remember him? Yeah, that guy. Bald all preseason. Bald in practice. Guys was like, man, this dude is good, right? Undrafted, is good. Well, they thought they could hide him on the practice squad. And Tampa Bay was like, come here. We'll take you, man. Good that the Seahawks end up getting him back. So overall, I thought today was good. I thought the taste in our mouth can be a lot different. I think that a lot of us are going into this season with we gonna see, right? And if there's a few takeaways, I think this is what you can take away with, and you can go and tell your friends about it this season, right? I say number one, Sam Howell looked better than he's been looking in practice, no doubt. Number two, this team plays fast and that defense flies around. It might be true that Mike McDonald might be that defensive whisperer because I thought they looked fantastic. Every single time, it just feels like the guys were around the football. And look, I'm going to tell you, there's going to be times that you're going to come to the show. I don't want you to think it's always going to be roses, right? So if there's any Seahawks players and y'all listening and y'all hearing all this good stuff right here, okay, it's good right now. But if it ever turns a certain type of way, I'm going to call it out now. It is what it is, right? That's why you can't fall in love with the praise, right? And sometimes the praise will come and sometimes the critique can come. But these are just opinions. Things change. We're going to see, right? So loved everything about it. And Mike Macdonald, right? This Mike Macdonald era is here. I loved what I saw out of this team. I know it's only a preseason game, but could you imagine us leaving this preseason game with my man Sam Howell looking terrible, with the defense looking terrible? So I don't care what nobody say. Preseason is preseason. You got any more takeaways there?
Well, one thing I want to ask UG and then the audience too, because what we've seen with Mike Macdonald in his first preseason game,
okay,
he's a guy that plays a good amount of people, but then sits the ones. And then we just saw Andy Reid, who never sits the ones. Patrick Mahomes in the first preseason game went out there and played today. And there's two schools of thoughts depending on the coach in the system. Do you play your starters in preseason? Do you sit them? Guys in the chat, I would really want to hear if you believe that's a good idea or a bad idea. And gee, I don't know where you stand.
No, I don't want to play. I don't think playing the guys is good, right? I know you want to see them. As fans, we want to see them, right? But matter of fact, I saw on social media, some of y'all were like, get Jackson Smith and Jigba out of there. I don't want this whole preseason. I'm just not a fan of, look, let's see what everybody else got. Get out there a little bit, and that's it. Sit the guys, sit Geno, right? Because look, if there's some type of nick and bruise or something that can linger for the rest of the season, look, as a fan, I get it. You want to see your superstars when you can. As being practical, long season, no, I don't want to see them out there. Now, I know, Frank, you said Andy Reid. Andy Reid always makes sure that the guys play every single time. I'm sorry. If I'm the coach, with continuity, we want to see that. We want them getting along, getting better. You're not going to see that in a series in the first game. You're not going to see that in one quarter. I don't need all that. Save it for week one. They know which guys are doing what. Practice, can you get enough of that? So I just want these guys healthy. I'm not a fan of it. All right. So I'm going to go to these chats and see what's in the questions and stuff like that and see what's happening.
Well, one thing they would love to know is any thoughts or any insights you've seen on Byron Murphy, because he was a star of the show.
Ooh. Brandon Mebane, by the way, you guys get prepared because you're going to see a lot of Brandon Mebane on this show. Brandon Mebane does not like a lot of players. I'm just going to tell y'all right now. He does not like a lot of D linemen. Right? Of course, the stars, of course, the ones that's gotten paid. I mean, that's obvious. But he talks about how it's just a lot of D linemen, especially early on. It takes 3 to 4 years to get paid. Before the draft, Brandon Mebane was talking about Byron Murphy. Talked about it. He was like, man, that dude, his low center of gravity, the way he's built, his motor, Mebane talked heavy on him. Here's the thing. He talked about him, but it wasn't like, and I wasn't like, oh, man, that'd be great if the Seahawks got Byron Murphy. There's no way that Byron Murphy should have gone 16th in the draft. The fact that the Seahawks got him, the fact that we all know now that the Rams wanted that dude. And when he got in the game, y'all, I don't know. I got super excited seeing Byron Murphy in that game, man. But I'm trying not to get too hyped. I'm not trying to get too hyped, but he just seems like he just belonged. He just seemed like it didn't feel, it seemed like that it was his first time out there. As a matter of fact, a lot of them boys is just looking good, so I'm probably getting too hyped. Somebody just said on here that I look like a corporate plant. What? Corporate plant? Is that how we starting this off? All right. Jonathan Chung, he wants to know, what are my thoughts on how Marquise Blair played? I mean, he was all right. He was cool. It doesn't really, stood out. But I'm a Marquise Blair fan. Second round pick. If not for injury, this dude was going to be the guy. I love Marquise Blair, man. And so I think his number is fitting that he picked up number 13, which some would think, ooh, I don't know about the 13, but man, I'm just glad to see him out there. Seriously. So I like Marquise Blair. What I don't want to do is we're not going to talk about, as you guys know, on the party, it's not always all football, right? Any topics y'all want to talk about, we have some fun. It's just a post-game show where we hang out, anything that stands out. If there's something you want to talk about with the game again, cool. But I do want to talk about something. This is what I want to talk about. Why? I'm talking about USA basketball, right? USA basketball. What is the reason why so many Americans dislike USA basketball? Why am I seeing so much hate on USA basketball? Put it in the comments. Is this just anti-LeBron? Some of you just hate LeBron for so many reasons. Look on your social media. Look in your friend groups. Why do so many people want USA to lose? What am I missing here? I mean, and then you make these comments like, oh, the 1992 Dream Team, they were so much better than this Dream Team. Do you see what the 1992 Dream Team was playing against? They was playing against players with T-shirts. And they had wristbands. Remember in the YMCA, you had to guard the wristband. Guard your wristband. That's who they was playing against. Some damn car insurance by day and basketball. Man, come on now. Why do y'all hate this USA basketball team? Is it because of LeBron? But either way, it's beautiful. There's all types of stories that's happening with it. But we just saw the greatest shot of all time. Go tell everybody I said that. Steph Curry's shot is the greatest shot of all time ever. He put the country on his back. 4 threes in a row. And he made that last shot with arguably two, like Frank said, two of the greatest, of the top 15 players of all time in LeBron and KD, who he shot that shot over two people while two of the greatest is standing there like, are you going to pass me the ball? And Steph Curry said, oh, excuse me. Chef Curry said, I'm going to shoot that. Greatest shot of all time. Now, Frank, I know you got stats. I know you're going to try to argue me. Who you got?
For the greatest shot of all time?
Yeah, greatest shot of all time.
I've always been biased for the Ray Allen shot. The Kawhi shot's incredible, but those are a little lower stakes because that wasn't quite the finals. The Jordan shot, which you rolled your eyes at earlier today.
The Jordan shot, you talk about Jordan shot, Byron Russell. I mean, it was cool, sweater, push off, whatever. It was cool. It was no doubt. But I'm just talking about this dude had the country and the legacy of USA basketball on his back. If you want to go some of the greatest shots of all time, I'd argue Ray Allen would be there. Robert Horry with the Lakers would be there. No question about it.
Got to throw Kyrie. We haven't mentioned Kyrie yet. Over Curry.
Oh, yeah, Kyrie. But seriously, Curry, greatest of all time. All right, we're going to switch back.
Okay,
no.
To tap that off, you had those three were in your top 5? Was your new takeoffs on Twitter?
Yeah. I'm going to, listen, I got some people asking me about Ryan Grubb. I'm going to get to Ryan Grubb because, I got something to tell y'all about him, about Ryan Grubb. So check this out. Give me a sec. But real quick on this, on this hoop. I'm done with this whole debate. Okay? If we're going to do top 5 basketball players of all time, it's locks. Bron, MJ, and Steph. And then you guys can fill out the rest of the 2. That's it. On this show, it's those 3, and then you can pick whatever 2 you want. But those 3 are locks of the greatest players to ever do it. So, all right. I'll come back to that. Let's go back to some football. We're going to go back to Ryan Grubb.
Dame Lillard against Rockets. Dame Lillard has a better shot in his career than that one over Paul George. Come on. Anyway, sorry. Switch it up. Go ahead.
Right, let's go back. RJ Ollie says, G, do you think Grubb and Coach Mike are keeping a lot behind the curtains until the season starts? Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody is, right? Like, all 32 teams. Nobody's putting out their good stuff. When they have open practice and the media and the fans there, nobody's putting out anything, right? But I think Ryan Grubb's going to be a problem. And the reason why I say that Ryan Grubb is going to be a problem, two reasons. One, I want to go back to when I first here's when I first figured out about Ryan Grubb was when he had an opportunity to go to Alabama. And then UW was like, we're going to up and increase his pay. Once that happened, I was like, oh, I wasn't watching UW games like that. But after that happened, I really started to watch the offense. And I was like, oh, he's nice. And at the beginning of last season, UW season, I remember watching the games, and schematically, the way he would scheme his wide receivers open. And don't get me wrong, wide receivers are great, of course. Michael Penix, great quarterback. No, I'm nothing against them. They're great. They're fantastic. But if you watch those UW games, the way those wide receivers would be wide open. I'm talking about wide. If there's UW fans in here, say something in the chat. Them wide receivers used to be wide open, and I love the way the run game was. So, and some people say, well, does it go from college? Could that work in the pros? Yes, it works in the pros. And the reason why I think it can work in the pros is because the guys that are on that offense, and as you know, I know some of the guys very well on that offense, said, boy, they say this Ryan Grubb's special. Now, one thing that I've learned over the years, the guys don't in the media, when they get ready to talk to the cameras, sure, they can't be like, man, this dude trash. No, they're not going to do that. You got to protect themselves. And if they, and let me just tell you this, if they did tell me that Ryan Grubb ain't that good, I wouldn't tell you like that. I would do it in a different way, if that makes sense. I'm just being honest with you. I wouldn't come out and be like, yeah, I talked to one player and he said Ryan Grubb's terrible. I wouldn't do it like that. I would say, let me show you how I would do it. I would be like, well, you know what? It was good in college, but we'll wait and see in the pros. Does that make sense? You see how I just gave you guys, look, let's give you a little media one-on-one, okay? This is how you play the game, okay? But I'm telling you that so far, everything that I've heard about Ryan Grubb has been, man, this dude is a wizard with it. So, man, maybe this dude is just blessed, right? He's just call the call. So we will see as the season progresses. I'm looking forward to it. But wouldn't it be special? I think the Seahawks about to sneak up on some people. Now, I think Geno Smith got to stay right. It'd be good. But I think the Seahawks, they're about to sneak up on some people this year, man. Mike McDonald ain't playing on no defense. And if you go back to last year, offensively, they weren't that bad. They weren't that bad last season. But just remember, go check the stats. Man, they ranked 30th against the run. Year before, 31. One of those years, both back-to-backs, 30-31. At least we know that's not going to happen this year. That's what I'm excited about. All right, let's go to the chat, see what other questions are coming right here. Sean says, G, do you think the Seahawks have Super Bowl aspirations this season? Oh, Sean. Man, yeah. Every NFL team is playing to go to Super Bowl. That's the beauty in football, right? And that's the thing as far as talent and everything. Because you know what? I want to talk about this too. Because oftentimes I hear and see some folks say things like, oh, that player's terrible or he's trash. I just want to tell you this. The margin for talent gap is, and by the way, I need to stop with the whole Geno Smith and Sam Howell. I shouldn't do that. That's not right. That's being sarcastic. Being truthful with you, there's not that much room between great and good, right? It's the little things. The same way in the NFL, it's a game of inches, right? Right? We know that, right? Like sometimes it comes down to an inch. Sometimes it comes down to the 1 yard line. Sometimes, like the game of football, there's just the margin of error like that. It's just small right there, right? And so I'm just trying. I'm letting you guys know that because a lot of these Super Bowl aspirations, every team has it. Now the problem a lot of times is either coaching staffs or the building, right? Like there's certain buildings, certain NFL buildings across the league that just haven't been good for years, right? Like, not to be disrespectful, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Cleveland Browns. And if you're a Cleveland Brown fan, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But how many starting quarterbacks have you had in the last 20 years? Right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like there's certain organizations, the Chicago Bears. I don't want to call them trash, but sometimes the organizations, not the players all the time. So, anyways, when it comes to the talent right there, like, man, the gap is just real small. All right. Let's see. Who else we got here? Super Bowl aspirations. I gave you that. Okay, what you got over there?
Well, you called, you asked if McDonald was going to be a whisperer for Tariq Woolen. He had a really nice start in this game. I thought the secondary just looked incredible. It was kind of hard to get a good read on the defense at large just because they were on the field and off the field so fast. I mean, I'm not taking away a lot of takeaways from an Easton Stick-led offense. I'm almost surprised Easton Stick is being relied on as Herbert's number 2 as his backup because Herbert has an injury history. And I'm really grateful that Seattle has actually paid some sort of assets to improve or replace the backup quarterback position if this sport is going to be so quarterback dependent like we think it is. But the secondary, it was like they were just tattooing guys out there. There was no yards after catch, and Tariq Woolen had a really nice start, and we're all kind of waiting on this third year from him.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks have an embarrassment of riches in the secondary. I think there's a lot of good players, and I would not be shocked if they somehow I wouldn't be shocked if there's a trade for someone, right? That's kind of lower on the depth chart because I think there's a lot of good players on this team, right? I think especially in the secondary, and you got the new rookies right there. You got Tariq Woolen, by the way. I think Tariq Woolen has come back. I think Tariq Woolen's sophomore year, his second year, I think it was to quote Bubba Dub, I think it was trash, right? I know that, he kind of talked about it the other day. He's like, yeah, ups and downs. No, it wasn't good. I don't care what you say. Wasn't good. Wasn't good at all, considering the first year that he had. And I think that he's coming in year 3, and I think he's hungry. And I think that's awesome. I think it's phenomenal. I love seeing it. I think the Seahawks fans and I think everybody's going to be happy with his play right there. So the secondary is probably going to have to make some trades, man, because I would hate for somebody to get cut and someone get some of these guys right there because I think there's a lot of people that are really good. Let's see here. Do you think Kobe can be a starter? Is that as in Kobe Bryant? Kobe Bryant? No. That safety room right now is it's pretty solid, man. It's definitely pretty solid. No, I don't know about that. Brendan Myers talked about. He said the Lions before Dan Campbell. Exactly. Like the thing is, here's the thing about the Lions, and I love Dan Campbell, and I saw what they did last season. We all saw what they did last season, but can they sustain that? Like this is how you know if organizations are good organization is when they have that one season. Can they keep going there, right? We saw what Seattle did over the years. We saw what the Patriots did over the years. Can they sustain that run? Like, I know there's some Cowboy fans on here. Maybe you know some Cowboy fans. They talk about them boys. The Dallas Cowboys are, they got all the bells and whistles. They got the nice stadium. They got all this great stuff, all those things. But Jerry Jones is the GM and the owner, and he is in their way. The way he talks about his players, the way he does things be so disrespectful. So I think the Cowboys, matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong, when is the last time the Cowboys, call your Dallas Cowboys friend, tag them on here. When the last time the Dallas Cowboys went to the NFC Championship game? Huh? Huh?
That's a tough question.
Think about it. So when I talk about organizations, and don't tell me that they haven't had any good players. They have. Pittsburgh Steelers, great organization. Wait a minute. Let me talk about Pittsburgh Steelers. What y'all think about the Justin Fields, Russell Wilson? What's going to happen right there? We put a poll up. Most of y'all said y'all think Russell Wilson going to be the starter. If Russell Wilson is a starter, will he be a starter the rest of the season? Or is the narrative on Justin Fields, is Justin Fields not enough to get it done? I like Justin Fields. I really do. And here's my thought for Pittsburgh. If Justin Fields does not become the answer in Pittsburgh, y'all ain't going to no playoffs. As a matter of fact, in Pittsburgh, because I thought Mike Tomlin was kind of going to be on his way out before. And then Pittsburgh turned it around.
No, this will be Mike Tomlin's last year in Pittsburgh.
Wait, if Justin, because I don't think Russell Wilson is going to be the guy for them. Prove me wrong.
He's already hurt.
I prove me wrong. I just don't think Russell was going to lead them to the promised land. And if one thing, I got buddies in Pittsburgh. And one thing, if you know any Steeler fans, they different. I'm telling you. You want to know what they talk about? Championships. They don't, like, a lot of times, like, oh, we going to the playoffs. Championships. Pittsburgh Steeler fans, we titles. The expectation is high, baby. Real high. So we're going to see.
But real quick, just before we get off that, do you know what the Steelers' second half schedule is?
Come on.
It's ridiculous. It's their division. They have to play the division opponents twice. So the Bengals, the Browns, and the Ravens. Then they have the Chiefs and the Eagles. That is Pittsburgh Steelers' last 8 games. If they're not 5-2 or something, they're going to be screwed. They're not making the playoffs this year. Arthur Smith and Tomlin, it's going to be a disaster. And I have this might be the end of Mike Tomlin, who's one of my favorite coaches.
Sean says Kobe Bryant would be a starter in the. Go ahead. What do you got? Sean says Kobe Bryant could be a starter in the 3 safeties formation. Have y'all seen Kayvon Wallace? Look him up. Look up Kayvon Wallace. Yes, I know that's a name y'all heard of. He just came here. He was with the Tennessee Titans last season. That boy's good. Been balling in practice. Kayvon Wallace is nice. Rayshon Jenkins, you know he's here. I'm telling y'all. Hey, Mike McDonald got some boys. Wait a minute. It's only preseason game number 1 and I'm this excited. I can't be this excited. Y'all got to hold me back. Yo, man, I'm way too excited.
Well, let me throw one thing at you. Okay, talking about, because the one thing I'm super excited about with Mike McDonald is potentially that he's going to put quarterbacks in quarterback hell. That he held Tua, Brock, Justin Herbert, Lawrence, Goff, and Stroud to under 20 points last year. Weirdly enough, he lost to Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, and Gardner Minshew. But I'm looking at the quarterbacks we're playing this year. We're playing Brock, Stafford, and Kyler twice. Then it's rookie Bo Nix. That's who we kicked the season off with. We have Jacoby Brissett, Tua again. Tua, his second time in a row playing Tua. Goff, Daniel Jones, Cousins, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. Then you have Jordan Love. And then you have 2 rookies in J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams. Some pretty good collection of quarterbacks there, but I'm really wondering how many of those can he completely shut down? And then we're looking at, can this Grubb offense get to 24 points, 27 points? Is that all we need?
I was listening to you rattle off those quarterbacks, and I was just thinking about week one. If there's one thing that I'll just take from Pete Carroll. Just got to worry about week one. Week one's important. Week one, at home, against the Broncos, a game that you know, I think as Seahawks fans, I think that there is a expectation. Fair? There's an expectation that the Seahawks should win that game. But there's something about the feeling of this team starting out 1-0. I know it's a long season, but man, just that one game, 1-0 at home to kind of get that feeling, right? Remember week one when Russell came to town with the Broncos and the Seahawks got that one win? I personally think that one win propelled things, got them to the playoffs. I'm telling y'all, as I get ready to wrap up, and I'm coming into this conversation with you guys, doing this post-game show, I got to be honest with y'all. I know it's only preseason game number one, but the feeling that I have right now, it's like going on that date for the first time, and I know it's date number one, but you already thinking about the future. And sometimes some of us might love hard. Do you love hard? Are you somebody that falls in love real fast? Because I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Now, I'm emotional, though, because there's drawbacks to this. I'll admit, I got my weaknesses. But right now, I'm falling in love with this team. I'm serious. Because here's why. Because offensively, I think they already had it. I think offensively, they came into the season already. Like, look, you know who the running backs are? The wide receivers are, come on. You want to compare the Seahawks wide receivers against anybody's? Who? What wide receiver core out there are you like, well, this what? I mean, outside of Patrick Mahomes, I like the Seahawks wide receivers.
Oh, yeah. And you're right, because like we had most of the offensive personnel is the same. They didn't change it up that much. They just grabbed a coach who was amazing with wide receivers. We might have some 4 wide receiver sets. We have a trio of wide receivers that, like, it's Chicago, Houston, and us. There's not a lot much better than that.
So we going on this. Hold on. Let's see. We got some Daddy Dennis says Olu had glimpses of being decent, but he got demolished on some key plays. Yeah. And they brought in my man Connor. They brought in a center. Yo, I'm feeling good. Some of you guys are probably worried about Abe, Lucas, which I'm looking forward to him getting back, no doubt. Promising young man, no doubt. But until that happens, Seahawks pretty good with George Fant, baby. 74. Nice experience. Looks good. So again, let me go back to it. Look, I'm falling in love again. Look, this offense is good right now. The only question mark that I had going into this season is defense. I was worried about the pass rush. I was worried about Rick Woolen. I just didn't know what was going on. And then Mike McDonald come in and, yo.
I'll tell you what.
I should have did this podcast. Today. I should have waited. I knew I shouldn't have waited. I knew I was going to get excited because I just want to bottle up this excitement. Y'all remember this. So make sure you subscribe, share this, hold this, remember this day, because this feeling that I have right now, I want to keep this feeling. You know what I'm talking about? Do you know how hard it is sometimes? Are you somebody that watches Seahawks games and when they don't play well or they don't do well, it messes up your day? Have you ever had that where it messes up your day, where it messes up your life? Okay, maybe y'all perfect. Maybe it's just me. It's just me. Be messing up. You eating ice cream, eating Twinkies and donuts and eating stuff, overeating, Emotional. That's me.
One thing I would like to know off of this game, and I would like to know from the audience as well, just where are we? Just check in at this point. We'll check in next week. Scale 1 to 10. Where are we with this team? Where are you, G? And where's the audience at? Just scale 1 to 10. Just throw a number out. I want to know.
Yo, I'm at a 10.
Oh my God.
I'm at a 10.
Oh my
I'm
God.
at a 10. Look. I started off this live stream. I wasn't at a 10. I was about a cool 7. You know what I'm saying? But we've been talking this out.
Oh, you got beat. We got a 12.
Man,
We got a 12.
Listen. You met her at the club, right? You know what I'm saying? You met her at the club. You got that phone number. You know what I'm saying? You get the phone number, right? It's about 2 in the corner. You go home. They go home. And then, you know what I'm saying? Then she hits your phone. And then they say, what you doing? You up? That's what we're doing this podcast right now. Talking to y'all. Got me excited. And then, look, remember being on the phone for like 2-3 hours. Cause you in love. I'm in love with the Seahawks right now, man. Now this might not this might change next week. Things might be different. Look at the numbers coming through. See? Okay. Jonathan Wynn says 6.5. Okay. All right. Before we go, what are you concerned about? Come on, hit the chat. What you concerned about? Now, producer Frank, always negative sometimes. Give me something. Let's come on. Let's quit being positive. Give me some concerns. What are you concerned about with this team? Frank, what should I be concerned about?
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty hyped about this team right now, and I really like Mike McDonald. I guess, the one starter was out, Abraham Lucas. I want to see the offensive line, the linebackers. I want to see them in coverage. That's mainly just because Stafford and Brock abuse the middle of the field, so I'd like some good coverage linebackers. I don't know if we have that, but when I'm saying this out loud, I feel like I'm pretty nitpicking because there's so many positives we can take away from it, and all I can think of is those storylines about the fights. Put those away. What they needed to put that behind was force Easton Stick to have a passer rating of worse than 15.
I got one concern. I thought I was going to get out of here without bringing it up, but Frank, you did it, and y'all gotta. I mean, I just got to tell you, it's my concern. Have you guys, look, I always like to talk regular because, and by the way, let me tell y'all something. I've been around this league, this team for 21 years. Never let anybody ever tell you that you don't know about football. Football is life. It's literally life. It's no different. Y'all think they just got money. You think they don't have problems. They got problems just like you. Don't ever think that you don't know about football. The feeling you got, run with it. Don't think that somebody's an expert and they know all this. Some of these folks getting paid a lot of money that experts don't know as much as you think. This is why we have first round busts all the time. Now, what I want to go back to, my real concern. I think that DK Metcalf is literally like, not only do I think he's the best receiver in the game, I damn near outside of like Patrick Mahomes, I think he's a superhuman. I think he's a creative player. I think DK Metcalf is like incredible. You understand me? Like seriously. Like right now, coming into this season, watching him practice, watching how hard he practices. I mean, that dude practices hard. And I'm not talking about when he's just getting the ball. I'm talking about when he's not getting the ball. He just goes so hard, right? And it reminds me of, like, if you have ever coached or played before, anything, any sport, or a classroom. It doesn't matter, work or whatever, where the star player, like the best, the most talented, everything, right? If it doesn't go right, it just it can mess up the entire culture of the team, of the building, of the workplace. Maybe you work somewhere, right? And you got that one person that's really, really good at what they do. But man, if things go wrong, man, or you got that one person in the household, you get ready to go home. If that person's in a good mood, the house is great. If that person's in a bad mood, man, the house, oh man, the culture bad. I just want DK Metcalf to just be that guy. I think DK Metcalf is to today's Seahawks what Marshawn Lynch was to yesterday's Seahawks. Marshawn created that culture. Marshawn. Now, I mean, there's no disrespect to the players. I'm not saying that. Okay, I'm just telling y'all. When did it start? And it started with that beastquake, baby. It started with that mentality. Yeah, the defense was great. Don't get me wrong. The Legion of Boom, Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas. Look, I get that. But Marshawn was that heart, baby. He was everything. Like they he loved his team. He loved his team, is what I'm trying to tell you. And I just think DK can be that. Really. He can be that. Like he is that. He's a superhuman. So I just want that dude to just be great this season. And I think this season is really predicated on him. So whatever your opinions are, those are your opinions. I got mine, you got yours. This leadership, man, he is real vital to this team. All right, look, it's been fun. This was the first one. I really appreciate you guys rocking and hanging out with us. Man, we got to talk a little bit. I think, have we gone an hour?
We just hit an hour.
We just hit an hour. So look, these post games, private, you know, after the game, it's going to be like that. Just to let you guys know what's coming up this week, we got some fantastic interview for you. Farrell Brown is going to be the next episode. That's going to come out next Wednesday. Listen to me. Farrell Brown, that dude's deep. And he comes on this podcast, and man, you gotta key in and click in for that. It's going to be fantastic. Make sure you subscribe, man. I really appreciate it. This is a new podcast. We just starting out, and we just getting started. We got all kinds of stuff that's just ready to just share with the world. And it is the podcast for the people. It's going to be a podcast that we're going to engage. Follow us on Twitter, Reset G Scott. You know, if you follow us on Twitter, we follow you back. We're never going to be a podcast that doesn't interact, right? Because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in, you guys have probably reached out to me on social media. You know, I comment back. And so, again, it means the world for you guys to hang out with me this time. Thank you. It looks like we got close to 100 people going at one time. So I look forward to hanging out with you guys. It's going to be fun. Look, it ain't going to always be great conversations, y'all, right? Sometimes you're going to show up and you might get so mad at me, you might turn it off. It's okay. We're going to talk through it. You know what I mean? Get to know each other, right? I already see, I see Sean and Brendan Myers. Okay, I see you. No doubt about it. I see some folks, Ronnie. I'm meeting some new people. Daddy Dennis, I know who Daddy Dennis is. You know, Daddy Dennis is always around, you know. But, you know, you guys in the comments, it really makes it a lot of fun. So, look, have a great rest of your weekend. Appreciate you rocking with me. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.